Hey truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this video I want to talk about the power outage in Puerto Rico that's affecting somewhere between 1.5 million and 3.5 million people, and also the gasoline crisis in the southeast region of the United States due to the Colonial pipeline spill of September 9th. In case you haven't heard about this, in Puerto Rico on September 21st, one of their main power plants supposedly caught fire, causing a massive power outage for at least half of the people of Puerto Rico. Again, the estimates are 1.5 million to 3.5 million people are without power, now going for more than 2 days straight. If you're new to my channel, when I first began this work, which was in October of 2013, when I first began this work, what my focus was on was the predictive programming for planned power outages on massive scales. And my initial research showed that there's all this predictive programming for a big power outage, at least in the southeast, possibly also northeast regions of the United States, if not the entire country. And you can go back and read my very first blog post that I made October of 2013. It's a very long post talking about all of the places of predictive programming for a massive blackout. And since learning about what's going on in the world, scripting history by the numbers, creating false flags by the numbers, I've done a lot of work on power outages of the past that have very much been by the numbers, showing that they have truly been purposeful and likely put on by the tyrants for the sake of, just giving that needless scare. Because when people are scared, they look for someone to save them and keep the problem from happening again. And then the government comes and says, okay, Big Brother's here to save the day. And usually with, some fine print, such as now a little more taxes, a little more fees, maybe your electricity is going to be more expensive. Remember, a little more than a decade ago, Enron, the big power company, buying up power companies all throughout the nation. All of a sudden, California had the rolling blackouts, supposedly an energy shortage. It turned out it was all lies just for profit. There's so much foul play that goes on in this world, even including energy markets, and the power that we're relying on in this world that we live in. Everyone grows up with electricity, is used to electricity, dependent on electricity. Freezers full of food that can't survive without electricity. So we're going to talk about why this power outage in Puerto Rico looks very purposeful, and I don't think the fire that caused the power outage is any accident. And then we're going to talk about the Colonial pipeline leak in the United States, Puerto Rico, U.S. territory, pipeline leak in the U.S., and I'm going to show you how that pipeline leak is truly a tribute to this year's upcoming Super Bowl. Just as last year, the Gold King Mine river spill in Colorado was a tribute to the Broncos winning the Super Bowl that came not long after that, exactly 187 days after the leak began. So we're going to get to all that. I want to show you what's interesting about Puerto Rico. U.S. citizenship granted on March 2nd, 1917. Constitution adopted July 25th, 1952 as a U.S. territory. So the date of U.S. citizenship, it was a date with 41 numerology. USA equals 41, special number to this nation. March 2nd can also be written 3/2, looking a lot like 32. America equals 32. The date of the Constitution, date with 84 numerology, United States of America equals 84, doing things by the numbers. Also a date with 32 numerology as well, the America number, 741776, a date with 32 numerology. From the date of the Constitution to the date of the blackout, September 21st, the day it began, is 58 days. The number of Freemasonry, United States equals 58, Secret Society 58, Freemasonry 58, Gregorian 58, Calendar 58. We're on the Gregorian calendar. The Freemasons have built these nations. They've built this language. We are living out their agenda by the numbers. And a lot of their agenda has to do with needless fear to control the people. From the date of the Constitution to September 21st, the full span of days is 59 days. Relevant to Puerto Rico itself. Puerto Rico in name equals 59. It's the kill number in Jewish gematria. It seems that they killed the lights truly by the numbers on this day. Something else interesting. Puerto Rico, the big way, sums to 140. Power plant, the big way, sums to 140. Power plant, massive Puerto Rico power outage. Seems suspicious that one power plant could do that to the whole nation. They must have several power plants. 3.5 million people. What's interesting about 140 is if you write it out as a word, it sums to 84, like United States of America, like the date their Constitution was recognized. So remember, the Freemasons, they believe in order out of chaos, creating a purposeful power outage. This is managed chaos. Who knows exactly what's going to come out of it? Higher fees, building contracts, more construction, more debt, more loans. This happened on a date with 46 numerology, September 21st, 2016. The word chaos equals 46. One of the most important concepts to the Freemasons who rule over us by the numbers, order out of chaos. Show you what else is interesting. I had George W. Bush deja vu when I did my research here. Look at this. The power company, they're called the Electric Power Authority. That's who oversees this power plant that had the fire. The Electric Power Authority. 322, that's the number of Skull and Bones. George W. Bush, the member of Skull and Bones, when we had all these energy problems in the United States with Enron. This was the CEO of Enron, Ken Lay, who died shortly after being sentenced to prison, supposedly. Probably living out his life in paradise on an island. Used to live in the 34th floor of a big suite in Houston, where this year's Super Bowl is coming to. NRG, we're going to be talking about what the pipeline spill has to do with the Super Bowl in Houston. Anyway, Ken Lay, George W. Bush, best buddies, came to be wealthy in the energy industry. War, banking, energy, it's all tied together. The number of Skull and Bones, which George W. Bush was a member of, 322. He graduated from this society in 1968, 33 years before 2001 when he became president. They're called Bonesmen, the Skull and Bones members. Bonesmen equals 33. George W. Bush, born July 6, 1946, a date with 33 numerology. In 1968, the year he graduated, same year 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. World Trade Center construction began. 33 years later, 9/11, he becomes president. False flag equals 33. The small way, the Electric Power Authority equals 133, just like government. Just like they code 133 all over all the government things in this nation. So yesterday, the first full day of the blackout, they didn't get the power back yesterday. It happened later, September 21st. Yesterday was a date with interesting numerology, 40 like United States, Puerto Rico, a U.S. territory. Date with 22 numerology, blackout the small way equals 22. Everyone's blacked out on this day. Also a date with 47 numerology, the number of foundation to the Freemasons. Foundation 47, framework 47, authority 47, Euclid's 47th problem. Important to the Freemasons about establishing foundation. Look at the word energy. Energy 74, weapon 74, nuclear 74. This year, the upcoming Super Bowls in Houston and Energy City, a lot of refining. NRG Stadium, NRG. So Puerto Rico, if you're out there, you're probably not seeing this because you don't have power, but when your power comes back up, you need to spread this knowledge just like it needs to get spread all over this country so we can stop these people from doing this to us again on a lot larger scale, because I think that's eventually what's coming. The day that they made the big crisis about the pipeline spill was the day that left 106 days left in the year. Prophecy equals 106. I'm telling you, someday they're going to do a much bigger blackout, and there's going to be a lot bigger consequences. It's going to last more than 2, 3, 4 days. They want to bring some real chaos so that they can bring their real, very official New World Order out of the shop they've been working on for centuries. So check this out. This oil spill began September 9th in Alabama, literally the day after the national news about the river in Russia turning the color of the Crimson Tide. This oil pipeline leak began in Alabama, where Crimson Tide, the college football team, is. I made a video about this before this was even known. I said there's some weird tribute in this river leak in Russia that's being reported as international news on September 8th, where they're calling the river the Crimson Tide now. The very next day, September 9th, this leak started in Alabama, again, home of the Crimson Tide. I'll link my video on the Russian River that I put out when it happened. All of this stuff is synced. All of this stuff is purposeful. Last year's river leak in Colorado, purposeful. The river leak in Russia, purposeful. This leak in Alabama, purposeful. The people who govern over us worldwide, they are the Freemasons. They are the New World Order. Now check this out. This pipeline, it runs from Houston to New York City. And I've been saying since February that a New York team, most likely the Giants, is going to be in this Super Bowl 51 in Houston in NRG Stadium. This thing's called the Colonial Pipeline. Gematria of 167, the 39th prime, the New York number. Every single New York City Super Bowl is connected to the number 39. NY equals 39, Empire equals 39, New York equals 39, the date of establishment 39, NRG, the stadium that the Super Bowl will be hosted in this coming year in Houston, equals 39, plus construction began on it March 9th, 3-9. Colonial Pipeline. The phrase pipe leak in Gematria sums to 39. You know, a pipe leak on the Colonial Pipeline, seemingly by the numbers. Colonial Pipeline, the small way, sums to 86, just like the word pipeline, the big way as well. Triangle equals 86, pyramid 86, symbol 86, republic 86, citizen 86. Very special number here, 86, coded in this pipeline that is now being used for a false flag spill. Remember, false flags, they can vary in scope. The purpose of a false flag is to steer people's consciousness with what's going on in their world down the path of agenda. Look at what's going on nationwide. I'm up here in Seattle, Washington. Oil prices are way up here because of this thing. You know, gas jumped a whole lot just because of this up here. Through the whole nation, oil companies are making more now because of this spill that is done on purpose. With regards to all this 86 in football, think about how the Patriots, Tom Brady, Deflategate. That was a game between the Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts who play in Lucas Oil Stadium. Deflategate equals 86. The Broncos dethrone the Deflategators. Broncos equals 86. This thing happened on September 9th, right? 9-9. The leak began 9-9, so we're told. The news story didn't come out until 7 days later. But 9-9 reminds me of New England. New England's in the narrative for what's going on this year with the Super Bowl. Follow my work on what I'm showing about what's being scripted in the NFL season. New England equals 99. Patriot equals 99. You know, in the last 2 weeks, the Dolphins got there, or the Patriots just defeated the Dolphins in the 99th game ever between the two teams. And then last night, the Texans came in with 99 career wins and got beat by the Patriots, shut out. But look at this. If you write out the word 13, it sums to 99, and this leak began in Alabama. Alabama equals 13. 13, the leak began September 9th, 9-9. Nation that began with 13 colonies, 13 stripes on the flag. The day it began is also September 9th, the day leaving 113 days left in the year. 113, the number of mainstream dishonest. This year, because it was a leap year, it was also the 253rd day of the year. And all year, I've been saying there's something up with the numbers 2, 3, and 5. They keep getting coded in news stories. 235, 523, 253. There's some reason they keep giving us these numbers this year. They're the first three prime numbers. I still haven't unlocked what they're trying to tell us with these numbers. But I'm not surprised that this is happening on the 253rd day of the year. Big energy crisis story of the year. Environmental damage story of the year. It happened in Shelby County, which in the small way sums to 52, like prophecy. They began this news story on, again, the day that leaves 106 days left in the year. Prophecy equals 106 the big way. This year, Eli Manning, who the season seemed scripted for, got his 106th win to start the season. By the numbers, over the Cowboys in a game summing to 39 points. New York, 39. Every New York Super Bowl comes back to 39. With regards to Eli Manning, the first time his big brother won a Super Bowl, Peyton Manning, who won last year with the Broncos at age 39, Eli won the very next year. Last year, Peyton won. Will Eli do it again? This past week, he defeated the Saints, his father's old team, Archie Manning, The final score was 16-13, and I pointed out before the game why the Giants should win. I said to look out for the numbers 16 and 13 because that was going to be the record of the two teams when the Giants won. The Giants are now 16 and 13 against the Saints. They won 16-13. Very scripted. Anyhow, Peyton Manning used to play for the Colts. There's also a major possibility for a Giants-Colts Super Bowl this year. Could be Giants-Patriots. Could be Giants-Colts. Colts-Lucas Oil Stadium. The 179 Gematria, 179 the 41st prime. 41 USA equals 41. 41 the 13th prime. Comes back to 13. Some weird riddles going on here. This is deja vu of last year with the Gold King Mine River disaster. We're going to review that. I was talking about Skull and Bones in the energy crisis in Puerto Rico. Check this out. This leak began 149 days before February 5th, 2017. Skull and Bones equals 149, like the 149 days from the leak to the upcoming game in Houston, the oil city. When you write out 47, it sums to 149. This year will be Super Bowl 51. Houston Texans equals 51. Conspiracy equals 51. Houston Texans hosting Super Bowl 51. 51, the conspiracy number. Think about Area 51. Anyhow, it'll also be the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th year of the NFL. The end of the 66th season. Both 47 and 66, when written out, have gematria of 149, just like Skull and Bones. That number 322, the number shown in The Dark Knight Rises, where the football stadium's exploding. Hines Ward, number 86, is running down the field. That number 86, like on the pipeline. Hines Ward also finished his career with 86 touchdowns. He wore that number for his career with the Steelers. So here were the headlines last year. Out of Colorado, the team from Colorado ended up winning the Super Bowl. Devastating was emphasized. Devastating has gematria 41 like Super Bowl. This happened on August 5th. National Football League equals 85. Freemasonry equals 58. The NFL, created by Freemasons, the date August 5th that this began, can be written 8/5 or 5/8. From the day it happened, August 5th, until the date of the Super Bowl, the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl, this was the Gold King Mine disaster golden anniversary, hosted by the 49ers, named after the gold rush. The Super Bowl was hosted on the 121st meridian. The Broncos went to the White House 121 days after the Super Bowl. The abbreviation for gold is AU. A the first letter, U the 21st, 121, 121. Super Bowl on the 121st meridian, hosted by the 49ers, named after the gold rush, golden anniversary. Gold King Mine disaster, 187 days before the homicide code. You know, all of this destruction of the environment it's harmful to all of us. What has been going on in this world is purposeful environmental disasters orchestrated by the numbers over the years. Chernobyl, Fukushima, what happened in the Gulf in 2010. All of this stuff is purposeful, plus way more. So is this. Gold King Mine disaster, what just happened in Puerto Rico, what just happened in Alabama, what just happened in Russia where they turned the river red. This became national news on September 8th. The name of the town where it began has 98 gematria. I have a video on this. I'll link it. I pointed out, though, the connections here in the video that I made to Alabama. And again, this became international news the day before the leak in Alabama. Here's CNN's headline calling it Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide, play on the color. The Alabama school's the Crimson Tide. There's the war movie between Russia and the United States, Crimson Tide. We're getting all this programming for a war, a needless war, again, put on by the Freemasons for the banker tyrants. All they care about is profit, power, and control. But look at this, you guys. I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is where I say you have to follow my work and pay attention to what I'm putting out, because I'm telling you, I've cracked the code for how these insane people are operating. You know? People made fun of this video saying, you got to be kidding me, Alabama, Crimson Tide. Then what do you know? Next thing, boom. Next thing, the next day, a leak in Alabama. I was saying, man, it's coming back to America, this story. The story's pointing to America. Energy crisis in America. From the day that Alabama won the college football championship to the day the River League began was 239 days. Right now, the flag's 239 years old. The flag was sewn at 239 Street in Philadelphia, 239 Arch Street. 239-year-old flag. Its birthday is June 14th, 1777. Special number to the Jewish faith that rules over this world. See about the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia. See about who's always really run this nation. The gang with the big noses and the lies. Until next time, truth seeker.